Former Virginia Trump campaign manager and U.S. Senate candidate Corey Stewart brought his firebrand campaign to Harrisonburg tonight. The Stewart campaign hosted a meet and greet at Franco's Pizza that was attended by 35 of Stewart's supporters. Stewart is one of several Virginians seeking the GOP nomination to challenge incumbent Democratic U.S. Senator Tim Kaine this November. Stewart addressed school shootings in the wake of the February 14th massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and introduced his plan to prevent these kinds of shootings from being so deadly.
The only thing that will stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And that is what we're going to do. But I don't like to just talk on serious things like this, folks. It's not enough just to make a political issue of it, just to make a little speech about it. That's not enough. It's not enough. We're going to do something about it. And in my county, which I control, that is exactly what we're going to do. And I just had the conversation with our county executive, and we're going to become the first in Virginia. In addition to, we've got the SRO program, the school resource officers. We are bringing into our schools, we are going to be bringing into our schools retired police officers who are trained to protect our kids.
All these gun control measures, they would never work and they're unconstitutional. Look, what we have to do is what I'm doing in Prince William County this year. We are hiring retired police officers, 20 this year, probably another 50 next year, going into our schools, protecting our students. That's what we have to do. There's a lot of underlying causes, but if we're serious about protecting our kids, we need to bring in more armed retired police, retired veterans and so forth, and others who are trained to use a firearm and to protect our kids.
Do you think there's any fear of these people being retired, that they're not in shape as much as they were when they were active duty?
Yeah, well, we're going to make sure that everybody who's going to be, all these retired police officers, they've got to be, within a certain age, and they're going to have to be retired, relatively recently. And there will be supplemental training that will be involved to make sure that they're there and that they're protecting the kids safely.
Stewart is known throughout the Commonwealth as being outspoken and tough on illegal immigration. Tonight was no exception.
10 years ago, I led the nation's toughest crackdown on illegal immigration. It's been 11 years now. So far, under that policy, every other locality in the state now, and by the way, Culpeper just adopted our policy. Culpeper just adopted it. It's very simple. You commit a crime, we arrest you, we check your immigration status. You're here illegally, you're not released, you are deported. Right. That's the policy we need everywhere.
Stewart reiterated his support for Donald Trump and condemned Republicans that don't support Trump. The candidate even joked that establishment Republicans would rather have a goat running for the seat than him.
I'm tired of establishment Republicans saying it's their way or the highway. I'm really sick and tired of that. And they keep losing elections. Now, they hate me. They absolutely do. That is not too strong of a term. And they will do anything. They would rather have a goat running than me running for the United States Senate. Not that I'm calling any of my opponents a goat, because one of them is very thin-skinned, by the way. But here's what we got to do. We've got to get behind the President of the United States. There's no room for this nomination to go to a never-Trumper. That is something we cannot do again. We've got to get behind the president and take the leadership. And that, I know that there are some Republicans who are, but you know what? Establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats, it's really the same party.
That doesn't worry you at all? Trump lost the state of Virginia. None of that worries you about embracing him at this point?
Not at all. I think the president, his popularity is on the increase right now. There's a lot of Virginians who did not come out and vote for Ed Gillespie for governor because they knew that he was distancing himself from President Trump. You need to stand with the president. I think that the president's message of economic growth, bringing back jobs, rebuilding the military, bringing a lot of those jobs, those military jobs into Virginia, all that is popular with Virginians. You got to get out your base. This is how I've been able to win in Northern Virginia. This is how I'm going to win in November.
Matthew Fry is the general manager of Edinburgh Motors in Edinburgh, Virginia.
He wants to build a wall. He wants to go along with his immigration plan. And I think that he's the right choice for Virginia and also the United States of America.
I asked Corey a controversial question about historic monuments and heritage.
Confederate monuments, or historical monuments,
Yeah,
you said.
historical
But I know in
monuments.
the past I've heard you say we have to embrace our heritage. What
Yeah.
exactly does that mean? Because I'm assuming you're from Minnesota, correct?
Yeah.
And Minnesota fought for the Union. So when you say your heritage, what do you mean exactly?
I mean American heritage. I mean American history. I just think it's wrong to be removing statues from whichever side, the Union or the Confederacy, because I think it's a very slippery slope. Once you take down a historical monument, even if it's a Confederate general, the next step is the left will start trying to take down monuments to the founders, Jefferson, Washington, and others. It's a very slippery slope.
When asked what's the main message he wants Virginia voters to hear, Stewart said this.
I'm a fighter. I'm a winner. I've been able to win. I've got a 500,000 voters who vote for me every time in Northern Virginia. I've been able to win that election, countywide 4 times. No other Republicans have been able to do it. I'm a strong conservative. I'm a strong supporter of President Trump, and it's a winning formula, and that's how we're going to beat Tim Kaine this November.
As we get closer and closer to Election Day, Breaking Through will have more reports on this race. In Harrisonburg, Theo Whitelow for Breaking Through.